Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you. We're just looking at a quick review of a debate by Matt Dillahunty and Cliffe Knechtle, and here is some of the debate.
Followed by, because of the evidence. What is the evidence that God exists? First piece of evidence. The Big Bang tells me that the universe is not eternal. There's a beginning. Everything that has a beginning has a cause. The universe has a beginning, therefore the universe has a cause.
Leading such a claim.
Matt
The claims of
Dillahunty.
Christianity were constructed, as the claims of other religions were, to fill the gaps in our knowledge. When we find evidence-based answers, the answer has never been God did it. And while this should eliminate God as we fill those gaps, instead the specific claims of Christianity and other religions morph chameleon life to conform with the facts.
Just because a lot of people in a culture believe in sute, the burning of a widow after her husband dies, doesn't make it right, doesn't make it good, doesn't make it the thing to do.
Our Catholicism, I can see that like the get-go. We don't need to, because I have the ability. For example, how do I know that this is a bottle of Coke Zero? I can use my senses, and I would have to possibly trust them. I disagree with philosophers on whether or not it's properly basic, because we know our senses can be fooled, and so we seek independent verification from others. And so I learned things. Matter of faith. Sorry, I apologize. Cliff and I might have slightly different definitions of faith. That's a point of contention amongst many of these discussions.
Obviously, Genesis is not answering the question. Exactly how long did God take to create? Some of your professor at UT Austin who said, you see guys, I don't have to waste my time struggling through the question. Why should I trust this accidental collection of atoms to tell me the truth about reality? Instead, because I am convinced that there's a rational God who created us with rational minds that enable us to understand reality, I can go on and struggle through different philosophical questions.
The way we use miracle in the modern world is completely different. Bus wrecks and everybody survives but one person, and that's a miracle. Somehow it's not a miracle that everybody else dies. Your second question was whether or not I believe in miracles and why. And I don't. What's the evidence for that? I don't believe in miracles. That's not the same as saying I believe that miracles don't happen, or I believe that miracles are false. Those are positive claims that I...
Okay, yeah, that's just some snippets from the debate. Basically, the Christian guy argued from that there was a cause to the universe, which means the universe must have had the universe had a beginning, so there must have been a first cause, which must have been God. He kind of argued that. He argued that there's a design, the universe is what's designed, so therefore there must have been a designer. He argues a moral argument that we have sort of absolute morals. Where did they come from? It shows that there must have been a creator of the morals, because we live in a moral universe. And then finally, he argued that the resurrection shows that Christ is the Son of God and that there is a God. That was the Christian guy. The atheist guy, Matt Dillahunty, or whatever his name is, basically just said the traditional arguments have been proved wrong time and time again. They're not worth bothering about. And even if they were right, it doesn't prove that there is a Christian God. And then he was basically pouring scorn and cold water on that there is this historical Christ, sort of kind of put in skepticism there. Basically, that was basically the argument of the night of both. I thought they both presented themselves really well. I thought they were both really excellent debaters. I disagree with the Christian guy because he believed in theistic evolution, but I thought he gave some really good arguments. I'm not so sure I agree with Matt Dillahunty's God of the Gaps idea, and also his issues with some of the traditional forms or the arguments of the existence of God. The reason for this is, why do these arguments keep coming up throughout history? It shows you that there is some power, some fascination with these old arguments, and I would say that they don't necessarily prove God, but they do have some power, and that's why they keep turning up. And I think it's not as easy for people just to dismiss them and say they've been debunked, because they do keep coming up and they're telling us something about human existence and human nature. And I know what some of you atheists were going to think when I said that. The other thing about the issue of the God of the gaps, and for example, Matt Dillahunty talked about Jesus, sorry, about something coming from nothing is just God of the gaps. We don't know what the nothing is, so it's no good surmising that it was God that created something from nothing. I think this is just not realizing that there's always going to be some questions that we're never going to be able to answer from science. And science, as a model of understanding reality, understands part of reality, but not all of reality. And we're never going to understand, scientifically speaking, how something can come from nothing. We're never going to do that. No matter how much you try, it's not going to happen. And so there are these philosophical questions that need to be answered. And it's no good explaining them the way as God of the gaps. That's my position on that. Is Matt Dillahunty's kind of scorn on, not scorn, but kind of, it was quite subtle skepticism concerning historical inquiry into the historical nature of Christ. I just found, because I've done a lot of work on that with Habermas, I've studied Habermas and Dr. Balcom, N.T. Wright, Dr. Price and other scholars, Bart Ehrman, I found that was not fair or disingenuous. There's a lot of evidence for who Christ is, and there's a lot of stuff that we can investigate, and it would come with some general accepted criteria for investigating historical sources. We can come up to some reasonable conclusions. We do not need Dr. Richard Carrier and his various Bayesian theory or whatever it is. So there we are. Those are my thoughts. I thought it was an excellent debate. Recommend it for you to watch. The Christian guy is extremely gifted in giving arguments. Matt Dillahunty was, if you want to watch an atheist who's fair and willing to give a decent defense of atheism, I thought Matt Dillahunty did a good job, but I thought the Christian guy did a good job too. So I'll leave you with the debate, and that's my scholarly bit for this week. Till later on in the week. Alright, take care, God bless.